Okay, here we are again. This is AJ and Raz, and this is just the tips ESO gameplay. How you doing, Raz?
I'm good, AJ. How about you?
I am not doing bad. I am kind of excited for this one because we get to talk about a combat system I am thoroughly enjoying in MMOs right now, and I think that it is the only way you could do an Elder Scrolls game, and that is a dynamic combat system. This is not a Rift. This is not a standard MMO where you select your target and then choose what buttons you want to press to make damage possibly happen to them, depending on your hit rating. This is a combat system where if you do not make combat as a melee fighter, it is your own damn fault. Is that correct, Raz?
That is indeed correct. Your only hit rating is how well you control your crosshair, which for the melee can be kind of hard at first. You hit a little shallow if you're in third person, so you're going to have to compensate for that a bit. But beyond that, you just stay on your target if they try to move, and if they'll do dodge animations sometimes.
You know, it's one thing that I've noticed, especially I have played a melee class, just kind of messing around with some of the other factions, and two-handed combat, two-handed melee is tremendously satisfying in this game, because when you catch somebody off balance with a huge swing, you take their ass to the ground.
Oh, yeah.
With that, I found that yeah, it is a little shallow, so it takes a little getting used to. The other thing I noticed on a melee combat in third person, depending on how far you're zoomed out, it'll center or off-center the cursor to give you an over-shoulder. So if you're fully zoomed out, your cursor will be dead center on the screen. Your crosshair is dead center above your head. But if you zoom in a little bit, your head starts to shift to the left to give you that great over-shoulder shot. So the thing is you got to remember that your crosshair, it is still kind of pretty much center. If you're shooting at something, it's going to compensate for it and make it hit. But if you're in melee, like you said, it is a little shallow. You got to watch for that. So casters and ranged. I'm sure as we go along in PvP and stuff like that, we'll be doing more on just general, how to swing blunt objects. But for casting and shooting, just the biggest thing is when you're on target, when you're moused over somebody, when you're looking at somebody, it's going to show you their health bar under your compass. When you're targeted on them, which means you're going to hit them, they usually highlight red or yellow depending on their aggro status. And also your crosshair will grow, like it expands. That basically means you're on somebody. For your staves, holding down the button charges up an attack. For your bows, it holds or draws or overdraws the bow to give you more power. So timing how long you're holding your attacks before releasing them can have a huge factor on your DPS, and has a major play in how you actually draw back your bow in different combat situations. Because if you don't have time to pull that thing all the way back before that dude comes at you with the hammer, you may just want to tag him a couple of times and then do a knockback or get out of the way. One of the things I really like about this, and Raz, you had kind of touched on it, is watch the ground, people. Watch for red marks on the ground. If you're standing in a red area in the middle of a dungeon and you die, it's not your healer's fault. Raz, can you cover some of the, because as a melee guy, you kind of deal with a lot of the closer up, some of the stuns that they throw out,
Yeah.
and also interrupting. I know interrupting, but I don't really use it that much as a range guy.
Well, it's all really simple. With the ground effects, you just have to pay attention. Sometimes there'll be small circles that swell and then explode. Sometimes it'll be just animated ground swipes or whatever.
Or like a slice of the pie thing for the archer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very technical.
A
I am
conical channel.
Yes, I am the technical one. So yeah, you got to watch the ground. As Raz had mentioned, some of them pulse out from them. Usually, as they're growing out, when they stop, it's gonna go off.
Yeah, as a melee, an easy way to get around that is when it starts to swell, run out, and I don't know specifically about the other classes. I know the Nightblade has an ability that you can just jump right back onto him. And so that's
kind of like
yeah,
a shadow step
like a
or a
shadow step
teleport.
style,
Yeah. As arranged, this is one thing that Raz, you got me doing, and it saved my ass a couple of times. Double tapping any direction will make you dodge roll, but double tapping, especially in a PvP situation, I totally agree with you on this. It stutter steps you, and if people are relying on you to stay still for them to hit you, when you stutter step, you're standing still,
It's
and
game
you're gonna get hit. So keybinds. This is a perfect tie-in. Keybind, keybind, keybind. If you're running forward, it's really hard to reach from W to the number 6. So maybe keybind that over to something else. Keybind your dodge roll. I know we use V because it's right there by spacebar. It's right there within the reach of the left hand. I know that we use multi-button mice. I really, as far as MMOs, if you have a mouse with 3 buttons, you're missing out. It's a good investment. They're getting pretty cheap. There's some pretty good models out there that are really inexpensive. There are some really expensive models. We went down the middle and got that. What is it? The Logitech MMO?
G600.
Yeah. So I love this mouse. It's really cool. You can like change the colors and make it like colors and stuff, and it glows. I'm sure there's technical things, but it's got buttons, so I don't have to use the keyboard for anything but strafing and getting the hell out of the way of any red marks on the ground. I will say this, as far as ESO combat systems go, know your role. If you're gonna heal a dungeon, your main weapon should be nothing but a healing support or a healing staff. Unless you're way over leveled, just know your role. Just because you have a heal doesn't make you a healer. Just because you have a ranged attack doesn't make you an archer. There's so much customization in this game that you've got to find your niche. You got to fight within your niche, but the biggest thing is you've got to know what your niche is, because if you don't know your role, you look like an idiot and you're hurting your whole team. If anybody has any comments or questions, if you want to find us in game, we will be doing what we usually do with MMOs. We'll have a guild. We will be opening up the Ventrilo channel and server for ESO. So find us in game. ESO, it's at Monkey, MUNKEE, and at Razombie, RAZOMBIE. Clan, I think we're going to go with the Wu-Tang Clams for our guild, and we will be nothing to shuck with. So we hope to see you guys online. Leave a message or a comment. Be sure to subscribe. And you can follow us on Twitter at WonderMonkey and at Razombie. That's Leet Speak with a 0 for the O. See you in Cyrodiil.